Hey y'all, it's Deanna and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be talking all about the 10 things I wish I knew before I purchased my first Glowforge. Alright, let's get into it.
Deanna Maurice, entrepreneurial and lifestyle content.
The first thing I want you to know if you are considering buying a Glowforge is that you can save up to $500 off of your very first machine, or really your second or third. Doesn't matter how many Glowforges you have, you can save up to $500. The second best thing about that is once you purchase your own Glowforge, you get a referral code that you can share with your friends and your family, and they can purchase one if they like to, and then you can get up to $500 as well whenever others purchase a Glowforge using your referral code. So ours, once again, is in the description box below. If you want to learn more about that, you can go ahead and click on it, but it is an amazing way to save some money on your Glowforge. Secondly, it is amazing because our Glowforges have pretty much paid for themselves through the Glowforge referral program, and through that program you can also purchase supplies, other machines, your filters, those sorts of things. And guys, this is not sponsored. This is my honest opinion. And when it comes up back to back, Glowforge against other lasers, if you are concerned about the financial aspect of it, Glowforge has this amazing program that helps to offset the amount that you pay for it. Meanwhile, you're gonna make money back using your Glowforge, okay? The second thing that I want you all to know is that Glowforge is a pretty large machine. It is about 40 inches wide, and I would say about 20 or so inches deep, maybe even a little bigger. We have ours sitting on top of the smallest desktop that IKEA sells, which is the Linman. I'm not 100% sure if they still sell it, but if they do, it is the one that costs about $8.99. The amazing thing about that, even though it is a large machine, it still can fit nicely into your home. And it isn't an ugly machine by any stretch of the imagination. The first time we opened our first Glowforge, we were like, whoa, this is pretty. It's almost like you didn't even want to mess with it because it actually is aesthetically nice. So the second thing that I want you guys to know is the size of the machine. The machine is pretty large, but in comparison to a lot of other laser machines, it is not overwhelmingly large. If you live in an apartment or a more confined space, you definitely can still utilize it. When we first purchased our first Glowforge, we had it sitting on top of our dining room table, and now we have it sitting on top of a Linman desktop that we purchased from IKEA for about $8.99. It's the smallest one that they have. It's about 39 inches wide, and our Glowforges fit perfectly on top of them. So a lot of other companies, their Glowforges are amazing, but they're very big, and you have to keep them like in your garage or just have a lot of space to house them. This one is amazing because you can just plop it on top of a table, quite frankly, and begin to cut. The third thing that I want y'all to know is about the noise level. Y'all, this thing is loud, okay? It is not like a, no, it is loud. Like, it is like, really, really, really loud. If I can insert a clip of what the sound, like what the built-in fan sounds like as it's going, I will. On our machines, we have installed AC infinity fans, which, let me tell y'all, that was like a lifesaver. I remember when we tried to cut at night, it'd just be like, oh my gosh, these machines are too loud. We were living in an apartment at this time, and like our neighbors are gonna hear, like it's gonna interrupt other people. Once we installed the AC infinity fans, the noise went down so much that yes, you still hear it, but it's nothing in comparison to what it used to be. So if you are going to purchase your own Glowforge, I would suggest that you get an AC infinity fan. I'll put a link to one in the description box below. I know the machine already on its own is costly, so no, it is not necessary. But if the noise level is something that you are concerned about, I would go ahead and purchase the AC infinity fan. So tip 4. So I do want to let you guys know that your machine does need to be vented out through a filter or vented out through a window. I've seen people vent them through the window. As a matter of fact, that's what we do, or they cut like a hole through their drywall that leads outside. If you own your home, that's the second option. Or your third option is to purchase a filter. Glowforge sells them for about $1,000. You do have to change the inserts every few months, I believe. But if you live in a small space or a space without a window, that is very much an option. And like I said before, if you get your own Glowforge and you get your own referral link, you can use some of your referral credits towards a filter. I'm just saying. Glowforge has the best referral program out here, in my opinion. Oh, and what I forgot to tell you guys is, all right, so you can use it for materials, you can use it for machines, or you can have it translated to cash and they will deposit it right into your bank account. I know this sounds like an ad for Glowforge, but it's really not. It's not sponsored. It's just that I like my machines and I have 2 of them, so it's pretty evident that I do like my Glowforge machines. So the 5th thing that I want you to know is that Glowforge is a cloud-based machine. So if any of you guys have had a Cricut before and you guys remember back in the day before the Air 2, what was it called? The Expression, and all of their software was cloud-based. It's a similar thing. Glowforge's software is all cloud-based. So if you do not have internet, you cannot use the software. And so that is a downside to me, honestly. And I do hope in the future that they will create an offline version where you can cut, and maybe you don't have access to everything, but at least you can cut and engrave and that sort of thing. And then also have access to their online software. Because even though I do think that it's a con that it's, you know, only online based, the online based part is not a con. Because one thing that I can tell you, since we've had our Glowforge, when we initially got it, if you were trying to cut a foreign object inside of the Glowforge, whether it be like a wallet, a watch band, a ruler, and you were trying to center, you know, your design onto it, sometimes you would get an off-center cut, despite the fact that the machines have different cameras in there. But as we've had our Glowforge now for about 3, has it been 4 years yet? I think about 3 years. We've had our Pro for about 3 years, and over time, Glowforge has upgraded their software. So now when you cut, it is so amazingly accurate. I'm just like, I'm so impressed by it. Not only that, they do take consumer feedback, because there are certain things that I have written about that they have implemented. My 6th tip is to let you know that Glowforge is not a plug and press the glowing button and boom, you have a design, you have a beautiful chandelier, you have these wonderful invitations and all these party decorations and all that kind of stuff. No, it is not like that. You are going to have to spend some time trying to understand the software. Yes, the software is pretty intuitive, but learning the different, you know, measurements and sets that you can place into your machine to provide you with the result that you want is going to take a little bit of time. So I just want to let you guys know, don't get frustrated like I did when we first got this machine. I was like, this is a scam. And my husband was like, it is not a scam. You just have to take time and learn how to use it properly. And so now that I've taken time, I just want to let you guys know, don't get upset within the first month or 2. It's going to take time. My 7th tip is understanding what types of files the Glowforge uses. What is an SVG? What is a PNG? Does it cut? Does it engrave? Does it score? Like, what does it do, right? And so for me, it took me a little while to understand that. But the great thing is you can purchase SVGs, or they also have their premium package, which is about $15 a month. It's a subscription that we are subscribed to because it gives you access to free files, also free shapes, and just a few more insets or inputs that you can use on the software to help make your process run more smoothly while using the machine. So I would suggest, if you have the additional $15 a month, to go ahead and get the premium subscription, because in my opinion, it is worth it. If learning how to make your own file for your Glowforge, your SVG, or PNG is something that you are interested in me showing you how to do, please go ahead and leave a comment in the description box below, and I will start to release some videos on how you can create your own SVGs. My 8th tip is just something to keep in mind, and it is that your Glowforge is going to take maintenance. It's a machine. Just like a car, you need to get an oil change. Just like your printers, you need to get new ink. You know, any type of mechanical item that you have, it is going to take some maintenance and some upkeep. So for us, we clean our Glowforges regularly and make sure that, you know, our crumb tray is cleaned out, all of our cameras are nice and wiped off, you know, our port that leads outside doesn't have any residue in it. I don't clean them, Mundo cleans them. If you guys want me to sweet him up and ask him, if you guys want it, right? If you guys want a video with him showing you guys how to clean it, let me know and I'll sweet him up and ask him if he can make a guest appearance to teach y'all how to clean the machines. He does an excellent job. I will admit I need to learn how to do it. But he's kind of, my husband, he's kind of, you know, sentimental about our Glowforges. Like, he's very particular in how he cleans them, and he wants to make sure that it's done correctly and nothing goes wrong. Another thing about maintenance that I want you to know is that after a few years, your bulb will go out and you will have to replace that. It's about $400 or $500. And then also for us, on our belt on one of the machines went out, and Glowforge was able to send us over the belt and replace it. And Mundo did that, and we didn't have to have like a mechanic, or we didn't have to send the machine back or anything. It was something that he was able to fix on his own. The ninth thing that I want you to know is that don't believe the hype when you see the videos and it's just like, me, cut done. No, that is not how a laser machine works. It definitely takes time. A cut can take anywhere from a minute to 3 hours. I've done things that, you know, you cut it out and it's like a shape and it's like, okay, 20 seconds, done. And then I've engraved items where it's like, I hit the, you know, the little magic button and I'm like, 3 hours? So yes, it is not a super fast machine depending on what you are wanting it for, but it does the job amazingly. And the reason why it is not super fast is because you have to remember that it is actually fire inside of the machines going through layer by layer or line by line, etching out that design that you set in there to engrave, or taking its time to cut out that shape that you've asked it to cut out, right? So we have to remember that. This is kind of like a silly moment, but when we first purchased our Glowforge, I did not know that it was fire inside. I did not put 2 and 2 together to say laser, fire, beam of fire, it's gonna, you know, there's gonna be smoke, etc. So like when I first got it, I'm like, what in the world? We came across the Glowforge during its crowdfunding phase. And for us at the time, we were like, that is way too much money. We don't have that to go ahead and put on this machine that we're not sure exactly how it works. So I didn't do too much research about it. My husband was just like, listen, you're so creative. This is something that you're gonna love. One day we're going to get one. And then eventually it hit the market. We saw more of what it could do and we're like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and get one. But I did not fully understand the buildup of it and exactly how it worked. And that is the reason why I am making this video for you guys, because I'm pretty sure there's some of y'all out there that just, you know, you're like, let me click and see what this girl has to say, because there's still some gray areas for me before I invest in getting a laser machine. My last tip, which I kind of bit off a bit earlier, is your safety. Please remember that it is a machine that does cut with laser and can create a fire. So you have to be careful whenever you're using it. Always make sure that your fan is on. Always make sure that it's vented outside, and don't leave it for an extended amount of time. Like the time that happened to me, I had just hit the start button and I went, you know, to the other room, and then when the alarm went off, I came back in. But do not leave your machines unattended for hours upon end, because that can be very dangerous. My other tip is to make sure that you keep a fire extinguisher right next to your machine, just in case it does catch on fire. I've been fortunate enough never to really have anything crazy happen as far as like an actual fire, but I have heard of them before. Nothing that went, you know, burn down anyone's house or anything like that. I haven't heard of that. But I just want you to be aware that it is something that you do need to exercise caution and safety when using. Alright guys, so the last thing that I want you all to know are about the types of machines that they offer. They have 3 types of the machines, and we have 2 out of the 3. They have a basic, a plus, and a pro. We have the plus and we also have the pro. The difference on the machines are the wattage. The basic is going to be the slowest of all 3. The plus is going to be faster, and the pro is going to be the fastest. However, I will say I don't really see much of a difference when it comes to speed time between the pro and the plus, but we already had the plus, so we didn't need it, because the biggest difference between the pro and the plus is that on the plus there is a pass-through. The pass-through is great if you're really trying to make really large items like big signs or the big chandeliers that you see, or just anything that is tall like a yardstick. You're going to need the pass-through for that, so the plus is amazing for that. If you are, for say, a jewelry designer, you do not need the pass-through, then the pro or the basic honestly can do the job. If you're just starting out and you don't have the funds to necessarily purchase that plus, go ahead and get the basic. Like, I know people with the basic and it does a really good job for them as well. Do what you can afford, but if it is something that you are really interested in and something that you know will benefit your life and your business, go ahead, take the plunge. They have financing. You can put it on a different credit card. You can pay for it cash. Go ahead and invest in yourself, invest in your business, and invest in your future. Lastly, in my next video, I'm going to share with you guys a product that sold $30,000 in less than 2 months that we use on our Glowforge. If you guys are interested in that, please go ahead and subscribe. Turn on your post notification bell because you won't want to miss my next video. Now guys, thank you guys so much, but it's time for the galang on the yard. Go find a yard pass or your digital yard pass. Alright, bye guys.
Situation, look at him, he's got a bad reputation. They be looking at us, thinking we are too much. Look at me, I'm in a bad situation. Look at him, he's got a bad reputation. They be looking at us. Why do I need to be good all the time?